Dealing with unimaginable loss just days after his 5-year-old grandson was found dead near a dumpster in Panorama City. Tonight, a growing memorial as we learn more about his alleged killer. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Kathy Vara in tonight for Carolyn. The body of Elijah Hearn was found Saturday, and since then we have seen people stop by to light candles and to pay their respects. In a day, we learned who police think killed him. NBC4's Tracy Leong live in Panorama City with more on this tragic story. Tracy.
Yeah, and Kathy, that memorial that you see behind me has been growing since Saturday. Every day, people stopping by to drop off, like you mentioned, flowers, leaving notes, as well as gifts and lighting candles for 5-year-old Elijah Anthony Hearn. And tonight, we know his mother's ex-boyfriend is in custody for his death.
He was loved, and if I knew this was going to happen to him, he would have never left my side.
Troy Hearn Sr., deeply distraught over the death of his grandson, 5-year-old Elijah Anthony Hearn, confirming to NBC4 that it was Elijah's body that was found near a dumpster in a parking lot on Van Nuys Boulevard near Roscoe in Panorama City Saturday morning.
No human being should do anything to a child. What kind of person are you?
Overnight, the LAPD detained 5 people for questioning in connection with the little boy's death. Police arrested 20-year-old Bryson Malik Gaddis, who has been booked on murder charges. Hearn Sr. says Gaddis is his daughter's estranged boyfriend and not Elijah's father.
That was my grandson, okay? And I'm glad that the guy's in custody because he was a threat to our family.
NBC4 investigates, looked into Gaddis's criminal history. In July 2024, Gaddis was arrested and charged for violent carjacking in Pomona, but the DA's office failed to prosecute the case under legal time limits and a judge dismissed the case. In January of this year, Gaddis was arrested on 3 misdemeanor domestic violence charges and had a protective order against him. Then, most recently in May, a warrant was issued for his arrest after his court-appointed GPS tracker became disabled and Gaddis failed to show up to court. The young child's tragic death leaving a deep ache in the community, bringing together loved ones and strangers to mourn his loss.
Papa loves you, man. You're always in my heart. I love you. You're never going to leave me.
Elijah's cause of death has not yet been released. Gaddis is being held on $2 million bail. Reporting live in Panorama City, Tracy Leong, NBC4 News.
All right, Tracy, thank you. We're getting new details tonight. ATF agents and the LAPD swarmed a home in the Palisades this morning. The investigation is tied to a fire truck from the 80s. NBC4's Robert Kovacic live in our newsroom explaining what we know so far. Robert.
Kathy, we are learning some new details. Tonight, the LAPD tells us when it comes to this case, they had warrants for 3 different locations in West LA today, and that includes a home on Rockingham and Sunset. The home is actually located in the Pacific Palisades, right on the border of Brentwood. The long list of charges includes an allegation that the man, who turns 47 just days from now, not only lives in the Pacific Palisades, but tried to impersonate a firefighter during the Palisades firefight in January.
We got it. We are on station.
Tonight, News Chopper 4 over a Wilmington tow yard and something you wouldn't expect to find there. A fire truck, the back burned out. NBC4 News has confirmed the fire truck came from another spot where you wouldn't expect to find it, behind the gates of a Palisades home. It was here on South Rockingham where the truck was taken into evidence today and the man who lives in the home taken into custody after search warrants were served by the ATF and the LAPD. Tonight, the LAPD confirms his name, Steve Farzam. Before his arrest yesterday, 28 charges were filed in LA Superior Court, stretching from 2015 to this May. They are dated here from the most recent. They include discharging a laser at an aircraft, assaulting a firefighter, impersonating a fire officer, and trespassing on closed lands. Those dates of trespassing and impersonating a fire officer occurred 10 days into the Palisades fire. NBC4 News has learned Steve Farzam has not only been accused of impersonating a public officer before, he's been convicted. They are among the charges you see here. He was sentenced to 182 days behind bars and 3 years probation. That was in 2003. And now, 22 years later, arrested at his home in the Palisades for allegedly being someone he is not, with the equipment he allegedly used to try and prove it. There were a few people who came in and out of the Farzam home today. No comment. Also, still no word from the ATF. The LAPD says their major crimes division could have more to share soon. Meantime, we just checked, and Steve Farzam remains in custody at the Metropolitan Detention Center in downtown LA, held without bail. In our newsroom, I'm Robert Kovacic. Kathy, that's the latest from here.
Robert, thank you. 3 teenagers in Northridge are in the hospital after a shooting. This happened near Parthenia and Wilbur. The LAPD says 2 teens are 17 years old. The other is 16 years old. Police say their injuries are not life-threatening. No word on any arrests or what led up to the shooting. And NBC4 Investigates has learned the man accused of killing an American Idol music supervising producer and her husband inside their home in Encino was prosecuted for an unrelated criminal case last year. But those charges were dropped after a mental health evaluation was ordered by the court. The bodies of Robin Kay and Thomas DeLuca were found inside their home in Encino Monday afternoon. Police believe the 2 were shot to death days earlier. Detectives arrested 22-year-old Raymond Budarian yesterday. Last year, he was charged with an unrelated threat, weapons, and a battery case. Court records show a judge dismissed the charges and ordered Budarian released in December. The LA County District Attorney's Office says it expects to review the evidence in the murder case tomorrow when he is scheduled to make his initial court appearance. Arcadia police and now the FBI are investigating a child abuse case that involves 21 children and babies. It is believed the children were born through surrogacy and lived in the house with their parents and 6 nannies. NBC4's Darsha Phillips live in Arcadia now with the latest details on this bizarre investigation. Darsha.
Yeah, Kathy, we are talking about very young children, most between the ages of 1 and 3 years old. And Arcadia police making it very clear that this is an investigation into child abuse, but they are saying that they, along with federal authorities, will be looking into what else may have been going on in this house. A white car with its license plates covered drove away from the massive home on West Camino Real in Arcadia, the driver not stopping to answer questions. The couple who lives in the home are being investigated for child endangerment, neglect, and abuse. And authorities are looking into what they call a highly unusual case of surrogacy.
This was my first experience being a surrogate.
Kayla Elliott says she thought she was helping 65-year-old Guoju Xuan and 38-year-old Sylvia Zheng have a second child, only to find out months after having their baby that she was one of possibly 21 surrogate mothers.
You just don't expect that you're going to hand the baby over to their parents and then all of a sudden find out that there was abuse and neglect going on.
Arcadia police were asked to investigate the home after Sylvia brought her at the home. 6 other children they learned were staying with family and friends, all said to be the biological children of the couple, born through surrogates.
The magnitude involving the number of children was something that our agency had never seen, and also something that our partners at DCFS, it was unique to them also.
Police took cameras, cell phones, and hard drives from the home that confirmed physical and emotional abuse was occurring, committed, police say, by the couple's 6 nannies.
The nannies were the ones who were committing the physical and emotional abuse. However, the parents were well aware of what was going on.
Police issued an arrest warrant for one of the nannies, 56-year-old Chun Mei Lee, who they say is responsible for the injuries that sent the 2-month-old to the hospital. The couple was arrested and released as authorities build their case. And while there's no law against having multiple surrogate children, many are wondering why.
I just can't understand why anybody would want to have that many surrogate kids.
The FBI is also investigating, zeroing in on the agency tied to the home, Mark Surrogacy. Records show its license was terminated months ago, but a pregnant surrogate told NBC News the agency is still contacting her. Now, police say when they questioned the mother about her 21 children, she insisted that there was nothing criminal going on, saying that she always wanted a big family. Reporting live tonight from Arcadia, I'm Darsha Phillips, NBC4 News.
Darsha, thank you. Tonight in the Inland Empire, fire crews are fighting the Dale Fire. It's burning along Highway 371 in Aguanga. It has now burned more than 700 acres. It started around 12:30 this afternoon. At least 2 buildings have burned and evacuations are underway. With help from air crews all day tonight, we have learned firefighters are making good progress on the fire's perimeter. And here's a live look from our camera. Catalina Island meteorologist David Bigger now with a check of the first alert forecast.
We had a beautiful day around the region today with temperatures getting into the upper 80s and the